Hello, and welcome back to another video. So, in this one, I've got a new toy. So, as most of you are probably aware, we were at the NEC car show with Oscar, and while I was there, I decided I'd seen this particular, going off on a rant, I'd seen this particular tool the last couple of years of being at the show, and couldn't quite bring myself to buy it. But this year I've actually took the plunge and I've bought one. So we're going to see how it goes. It's not sponsored. Okay, it is bought with my own money. So I'll tell you exactly how it is and how easy it is to use. Blah blah blah. So I've hand selected some things off Maggie that I'm going to try powder coating. And we'll give it a go. Well, you know, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work, or the finish isn't good, but we'll play it by ear. So the new toy is this is the kit. Realistically, according to the instructions, all you need is a compressor capable of 20 psi, even though it only runs at around 10. And an oven, just something that's capable of sitting at 180 degrees. So it should be an easy do-it-at-home kit. You know, you wouldn't be able to put an alloy wheel in your conventional oven, but you know, small parts you can. So I've got some hand-selected stuff here. Forgive the mess. Garage is always a mess. So I've got some bits and bobs here that can fit in the oven. And we just got to work out how we're going to do it. You've got to suspend everything, so I think I'm probably going to use some welding wire. So I need to find a way of being able to suspend it in here so I can cover it in the powder, transport it into the house, stick it in the oven, and hopefully it'll come out looking smart and swish. So all I've got to do now is clean all this up, hence the reason why the professional bench grinder is set up, which is just a drill with a wire brush and vise, to clean all of the loose flaking rust, and then we can give it a go. I've no idea what I'm doing. I've read the instructions. I know, terrible, fancy reading instructions. It all seems fairly straightforward, but I guess we'll find out as we go along. So first point of call is cleaning. We've got to clean everything up, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I've got the parts cleaned up, which I'll show you in a second, but I'm just faffing around setting this up. And it requires only 10 psi, so it recommends in the book that an ideal compressor would be a 20 psi 1 CFM with a 6-litre air receiver. Now my big compressor, which I use for painting and all sorts, again, forgive the mess, that's a 9 CFM 50 litre, and I can dial it down to 10 psi, but it's just not really ideal. But I do have this, which is a airbrush compressor, and I've connected it all up to the airbrush compressor, and it's perfect. And of course, because it's an airbrush compressor, it runs pretty much silent, whereas the big one is really loud and noisy, so I like that. So I've cleaned all the parts up, which I'll show you in a second. I just wanted to show you that, you know, it seems that you don't need a high spec piece of kit at all. This was, bloody hell, 50 quid off eBay, I think it was. It wasn't expensive, and I use it for airbrushing when I do models, but it seems perfect for this setup, so that's good. could possibly go wrong? Right. Find out, I guess. That's weird. That's weird. That's just strange. A little bit awkward. Because you've got to earth it out, but then it's probably the way I set it up. Oh, faff, faffity faff faff. Okay. Almost a little too easy. I'm not sure that's right. I can't believe how easy that is. I'm in a well ventilated room anyway, front doors open, back doors open. But there's no dust, so I can take the mask off. It's weird, it's like really easy. I suppose it proofs in the pudding once it's been through the oven and baked, cured. We'll see what it looks like. But that's the next stage. I've got to try and get them from in here into the oven. So we'll see what happens there. I'll keep you updated. Typically, there's a fly coming. Keeps trying to shut the bloody door. Not the fly, the wind. He's come in, it's landed on one of the panels. So let's bake it and see what happens. Okay, first disaster. It's not really a disaster. I caught it with my arm as I went to put it in the oven and it's just rubbed the powder off. So I'm going to have to recoat that one. But I'm going to try and get these other ones in. I'll recoat that one while the others are in. So give it a go. Well, just astonishing. That's incredibly easy. I couldn't get that one in the oven at the same time as the all of them. And one thing that I discovered was every time I tried to put that one in the oven, I kept catching it and rubbing parts of the powder off. So these two have got to go in on their own. But I mean, they're still a little warm, but know this camera's not good at focusing close, but I'll do it with the iPhone in a minute. But look at the gloss on that. That's just incredible. I mean, it's obviously not as, you can't paint a car with it, obviously, but although I'm sure you could if you had a big enough oven. But the powder that you get, 1/2 kilo bags, is enough for 4 square meters. So that's quite a lot. I've used a tiny little bit of a canister, and I only filled it to sort of that much inside the canister. One of these, yeah, so I only filled it to about there, so I've used about half of that, and that was 1/8 of a bag, maybe. You know, and it's come out like that. It's amazing. So I'm just letting the oven heat back up again before the wife tells me off, and then I'll get these two back in just to cure. I've got to take the masking tape off this one. I need to clean the gun out before the powder sticks to it and causes problems, because it says in the book you're best to clean it off as soon as you can. And you don't use any chemicals, you don't use anything, all you used is compressed air. And you just blow the dust out of it basically, and that's it clean. I mean, how simple is that? And the array of colours that you can get is astonishing. You know, you can get pearlescence, glosses, candies, pearls, which is the same as pearlescent linen. You can get all sorts of colours, so you can do pretty much whatever you want. You can powder coat wood, plastics, as long as the plastic has obviously got a melting point that's higher than 180 degrees. Yeah, you can use it on pretty much anything. So my modern car, the wife has just pointed out that our modern car's wiper arms, sorry, the paint has gone on vacation. So she was saying we could powder coat those, and she's right. It doesn't seem right at first because it's too bloody easy. It's almost like you're cheating. I don't really know how else to describe it. I'm really making a pig's ear peeling this tape off. But the powder coat has gone onto the tape and it's stuck well to the tape. There we go. Yeah, look at that. It's incredible. Now, I've got some of this, I've got some gunmetal grey and a gloss, and I'm thinking there's a few things in the midget's engine bay that, well, the engine bay in the midget needs tidying up, it's not perfect. And there's a few things that I'd like to powder coat, and I thought, well, black's a bit boring, and in the engine bay of the midget it'll kind of blend in. So I've got this gunmetal grey. It's not in your face, but it's, you know, it's a nice sort of colour. The airbox on Oscar I know needs doing, and the horn. So I'll probably get that off during the winter, and I'll powder coat those for Dave, providing I can get them in the oven. I'm not sure whether the heater box will fit in the oven. I might have to develop a bigger oven. I don't know. I've got the kit now, so we might as well try and work out how to make a bigger oven, I suppose. Any tips, let us know. But yeah, there's loads of bits and bobs that we can do, and like I say, there's just a massive array of colours, which is great. So yeah, that's pretty much it really. OMG, look at the gloss on that. That's nuts. Now the pitting that you can see, that's part of the actual casting. That's not the powder coat. That's see it in the better light there. Look, but if I run my finger over it, you can see how well it polishes up, and it's just nuts and so incredibly easy. Well, the big bits are out of the oven. The coverage is incredible. Very, very, very impressed. Unfortunately, the air filter housing is still quite beat up. As you can see, it's beat up all over the place. But that's not powder coat's fault. That's just the way it is. However, you know, it looks better. Looks far better. So whether I decide to keep that or not, I don't know. But the other parts that I chose to do are astonishing. Well impressed.